Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kati, and this is A Resilient Babe. This video is a part 2 of the similarities between metaphysics and the world of voodoo, metaphysics or quantum physics in voodoo, or voodoo. So I want to touch on not only the similarities, but also the slight differences that exist. One thing that the two have in common is that it's the use of unseen forces in order to bring our manifestations or desires into reality. Now, the slight differences would be that in voodoo, for instance, they rely heavily on rituals and offerings to the spirits, or what they call the loas, versus metaphysics or quantum physics would ask you to actually rely on yourself, but of course, the unseen forces that exist within the universe, and of course the laws of the universe. But we're going to see that there is not much of a difference between the two. The concepts are the same. Of course, when you go about culture, that's when you realize that the African culture, they use their own method of belief, of rituals. But at the end of the day, we all want one thing. It is to bring our desires in front of us, into our hands. We use our minds, we use our thoughts, we use our intentions, whatever we're doing. So if you hear people talk about magic, white magic black magic now is something else. It has nothing to do with voodoo. It has been a huge misconception over the years that we ought to clarify. Because if we don't do that, they will continue to bash and discredit African or Black spirituality. Anyways, so magic, black magic, white magic, all of these, they use the thoughts, the beliefs, the intentions in order to manifest something. Nothing that we're going to talk about on this channel is going to be in regards to doing something that is malicious, negative, or to destroy somebody else. That is not my intention, and I just want to make that clear. My intention is to not only educate you, but I'm also educating myself, because as a Haitian woman, for a long time, I rejected the idea of looking inside of voodoo. And as I delve more into it, I'm finding out that there is a science behind it. Okay. And we will get to talk about this over time. But for now, I really want to talk about the differences and the similarities inside the world of metaphysics or / quantum physics and the world of voodoo. So let's go into a little bit of a definition. I have my notes here, so I'm going to be looking up and down. And I apologize already, so stick with me. Metaphysics is a branch of philosophy that examines the fundamental nature of reality, including the relationship between mind and matter, substance and attribute. Okay, so it goes beyond the physical world. This is what I was saying earlier. Okay, it is about the unseen world, or the unseen forces, because you have to understand one thing. We live in a world, okay, in a material world, which is the visible world. But then people tend to forget that there's the invisible world, which is the spiritual world. So you have to understand that whatever you do in this plane, which is the visible world, has a direct effect to the spiritual world, or vice versa. As within, so without. As above, so below. So these are not just people talking nonsense. These are people that understand how the world truly does work. You have to be careful so that whatever you think, okay, it is connected to the invisible world. Whatever you do, it is connected to the physical or visible world. So let's keep going. Now, like I said, it goes beyond the physical world, exploring concepts like energy and consciousness, causality, and the nature of existence. So metaphysics, or the study of metaphysical ideas, often involves themes like manifestation, the law of attraction, of course, quantum physics, which suggests that the unseen forces of states of being shape physical outcomes. Now, voodoo, or voodoo, also spelled vaudoun, is a spiritual system rooted in African spirituality. They come from the regions of Togo and Benin, and of course Haiti or Haiti. You're gonna find that I say a lot. I don't say Haiti, I say Haiti, which is its original name given to us by the indigenous people. Okay. By the way, that doesn't mean mountainous land. It actually means the motherland. This could be a whole video on the actual name of IT and its meaning. So it's a belief system, okay, where practitioners connect with the spirits, the loas, to influence the material world, like I said. Metaphysics often describe the forces abstractly. Voodoo personifies the spirits. Okay, and we're going to get into the names of the spirits, by the way. Just like you hear angels. Have you ever seen an angel? No. We know that angels exist, that they were given power by God to assist human beings here on earth. Voodoo involves a deep understanding of the unseen world and the spiritual forces that govern life, death, destiny. And it also sees the physical and spiritual realms as closely intertwined. Spirits, ancestors, and energies play significant roles in shaping one's reality. Now, the relationship between the two. I talked about unseen forces. We'll talk about the influence on reality and the spiritual intermediaries inside of the two. Now, guys, unseen forces, both in metaphysics and voodoo, they're concerned with the influence of invisible energies or spirits on the material world. Listen, 1 + 1 = 2, never equals 3. Again, like I said, as above, so below, as within, so without. Your thought, your belief, how your energy affects everything around you. You walk into a room, if your energy is down, everybody can see it. First of all, the way you move in the world is the way you are received. There is no question about that. If you think and feel good about yourself, this is how the world will receive you. Your energy or the manipulation of energy is a real thing, and they have studies based on that. Okay, and this is what nowadays they call manifestation, to make it a little bit more relatable. But if you go deep inside of energy manipulation, you would be shocked to know what you can do with your thoughts, with your intention, with your belief, what you can create, the world that you can create. I made a video and I said, manifest your world like a cartoonist. It's like you're given a blank canvas and you have the ability to draw any world that you want, to bring to life any scene that you want, right? So, and this is the power that we've been given. Like, we've been given a blank canvas and we can do whatever we want to do with it. So this is the influence on reality that metaphysics really does have, right? Is the ability to manipulate energy. For me, religion is really designed to take your power away from you instead of showing you your power. They want to take it out of your hand. Because also religion is a business, they have to do it so that you can rely on them. They have to really strip you of all your God-given powers. So this is what religion does that I don't like. Again, to go back to that point, is that it makes you really believe that all your power is outside of yourself. But that's not true at all. Both in voodoo and metaphysics or quantum physics, they will tell you one thing: your personal power is the most important. And religion, this is the disservice that religion does to us. It makes us believe that all the power is outside of ourselves, but not within us. I had the pleasure to sit down with a Freemason who knew a lot about voodoo. And one thing that he told me was that really stuck with me. He said that God gave us powers, all of us. Okay? And it says it in the Bible that we were made a little lower than the angels, but however, we have dominion over this physical world here. So we have powers. And a lot of times, which means that we as humans, we can do amazing things and we can do a lot of damage. So when you come across certain knowledge, you can abuse it. And this is why, in voodoo, there's a lot of abuse, unfortunately. Same thing with the metaphysics, okay, the metaphysical world. And if you want to talk about magic, the people that come across this type of knowledge would abuse it to do wrong, to do negative things. I think the same thing goes inside of voodoo. But in its core nature, it actually was meant to help liberate Black people, or let's just say all people on earth, because we are one consciousness. We are one people. Yes, different regions will bring different knowledge, but at the end of the day, we're all here to serve one power, and it's the God. That's it. Whether you want to call it God, whether you want to call it Elohim, Eloah, Yahweh, Adonai, El Shaddai, whatever the names of gods are, there's one undeniable fact here is that there's one source, and we're all here to serve that one source, wherever we're from. Now, the knowledge has been given to you. Now, this is why it is important and crucial to understand that it should not be messed with in a negative way. Never, ever, ever. It's not good for you. It'll leave curses generations after generation. So you have to be careful. But it is important for us to educate ourselves, however. I'm a very curious mind. I love to educate myself on all these topics. Just because why not? It's there for us to understand. Right? So both systems, agree that there's more to reality than the physical. And both allow for intentional changes in life in life circumstances. That's the most interesting part. Okay. And this is the key here that locks the two together, that parallels the two together, is that they both believe there's more to reality than the physical world, and both allow for intentional changes in life circumstances. Just ponder on this, guys. So spiritual intermediaries, right? Metaphysical practices sometimes involve connecting with a higher consciousness. In voodoo, practitioners also shape reality, right? But through rituals and offerings. These rituals and offerings are quite interesting, and it can look scary to people because they're like, why are you giving food to spirits? What is this? There's only God, and stuff like that, because that doesn't exist anymore. The Bible, that was ancient. That was the Old Testament and the New Testament. Jesus died for our sins. We don't have to do any sacrifice. We don't have to do any offerings and stuff like that. I understand. But let me say this. This is African spirituality. It's African spirituality. I'm not going to be the one to disturb what these people have been doing for centuries. This is their belief system. They do believe in God. They do believe in one creator. However, below God, there are spirits that are there to assist us. And these spirits, they want to maintain or build a relationship with them so that they can continue to help them and bring their desires into the 3D world, into the material world. Okay. And their ways of keeping a relationship with these spirits is through rituals and offerings and divination. Anyways, this is African spirituality. I'm not going to be the one to say, no, it's wrong. I don't know. Who am I to say that it's wrong? Who am I? Who are you to say that it is wrong? It's their belief. I have seen one day a ritual or a voodoo dance, whatever you want to call it, and how, they communicate. They do all kinds of things, to establish communication with the spirits. It's quite interesting. It's something that I would invite anybody to just take a look at, just out of curiosity. And also, don't be attached to anything of this world, okay? And I think that's the biggest mistake that people make. It's like they're too attached. Don't be attached to what people are selling, because you will know within your spirit what works and what doesn't work, okay? But as a Black person, I think that it's imperative that I go for myself and do the necessary research in order to understand who am I, where do I come from, and what with the people that look like me, they were doing before the Bible came to them, before the idea of Jesus came to them. Don't get me wrong. The character of Yeshua is a powerful character. Okay. And I think that over time, the name gains so much power because of so much energy given to it. Okay. And I recognize that there's tremendous power in the name itself, but also in the life the way he lived life. But he also came to teach us of our powers. But again, I think that there is a group of people that took away whatever he truly said and kept it away from the Bible. Let's talk about the intermediaries, right? Like I said, metaphysics, although they rely on unseen forces, but all the power is within your hand, and the power of your consciousness and the power of your thought and belief and stuff like that. Whereas voodoo, they rely on the unseen forces, but the power of the spirits, which they call loas, or which would be the intermediaries between the physical world and the spiritual world. And then you also have the voodoo priest or priestess that help you, or you could do it yourself. But oftentimes people go to a hugan, a voodoo priest, what they call a hugan, or a mambo, which would be a voodoo priestess, to help them connect so that they can get whatever they're looking for. Okay. And oftentimes people will do their own offerings, and they will do their own rituals. Once you learn them, rituals for protection, for money, rituals for healing. If you learn them, you can do them yourself. So some ritual I will share with you. One ritual that I can share with you is a good luck bath that people would take every beginning of the year. You can add flowers into them. You can add basil leaves. You can add salt. You can add crystals and stuff like that. And you bathe either at midnight, on a full moon, or at 12 p.m. So this is one thing that I know of. I can probably share some videos with you on that. If you are interested, just let me know. So, okay. The spiritual entities, spirits called loa. LOA. Sometimes the abbreviation is LOA for law of attraction. And in Creole, we call those unseen forces or spirits the loa. It's spelled both ways, LOA or LWA. Through the rituals and the offerings and divination, the voodoo practitioners, this is how they connect to the unseen world. So why do people petition the spirits or the loa in voodoo? We're going to talk about voodoo. Because they have requests, right? They're looking for something in particular, because we're here. And oftentimes, we face challenges, we face problems, we face issues. And one thing that inside of our spirituality that's been given to us from generation or by our ancestors, or ways to connect to the higher power. And inside of this African spirituality, which is known as the voodoo, there are ways to connect with the higher power to bring us the help that we need, right? So we're seeking guidance, we're seeking protection, we're seeking healing, we're seeking to manifest specific outcomes, and such as wealth, love, of course, health. I mentioned that in my last video. A lot of people in the countryside in Haiti, they go to a voodoo priest or priestess. 90% of the time, it is for healing. 90% of the time. Now, the intermediary, which is known as the priest, okay, or the hugan or the mambo, would petition different spirits or different loas. And this is what we're going to get into this part of the video. One petition that the hugan would make, the first is to Papa Legba. And Legba is the road opener. He's the one who allows you the passage to the between the visible world and the invisible world when you want to make your request. He's the road opener. You will hear it in Santeria. You would hear it in, of course, in Voodoo. There is always, and even in Catholicism, I believe it's Saint Peter who holds the key of heaven. Please correct me if I'm wrong. All other spiritualities, you need an intermediary. You need somebody to speak for you. If you're a Catholic, you know very well that you don't attain or you don't petition to God directly. You have to go through one spirit that is, of course, below God in order to actually bring your request, your petition to God. So in the world of voodoo, Papa Legba is that door opener, is the gatekeeper loa. Okay. You petition Papa Legba to open the roads and to communicate for your opportunity. So this ritual typically starts by lighting a candle and offering rum, tobacco, or food that Papa Legba favors. The practitioner sings songs and chants in his honor, asking for his assistance in opening the way for other loas to come through and help manifest their desires. Okay? And the slight difference again is the offerings and the rituals, which would include the dance, the music, the drums and stuff like that. Because in metaphysics or in quantum physics, right, when you are meditating, there are different brain waves that you attain. And the slower the brain waves are, the more you can connect to the higher consciousness. So you go into a trance. It is the same thing when they're beating the drums, when they're singing and voodoo, is to relax themselves. It's to eliminate thoughts. It's to go to the higher consciousness so that the spirit can communicate or they can hear the spirit. Okay? There's not much of a difference really, except that it's been presented in such a dark way. Like I said, even before in my previous video, Hollywood has done the spirituality such a disservice by making it seem that, they use voodoo dolls and they use this in order to do that. They eat human flesh, they drink blood and stuff like that. Whereas it has nothing to do with that. It is the same practices, but it's done in such a way, of course, because it's done by Black people, that they want to make it, seem to be like a dark thing. It's bad. It's negative. It's evil. It's satanic. Papa Legba's the road openers, and Papa Legba is going to help them manifest, open the road so that they can communicate with the other spirits and stuff like that. And of course, through the rituals to Papa Legba, dances, the drums, the food, the drinks, and stuff like that. Whatever Papa Legba loves is what they will put there in order for that Papa Legba can come. Okay, I hope that made sense. And I hope that from what I've said so far, you can start doing your own research. Okay, if you are Haitian, if you're Black, whoever you are, whatever your background, I recommend that you go and do your own research. I will post some videos. I will suggest some books that you can read because again, even I am still learning. Okay. And I think that we need to debunk this. Like we need to start, vouching for ourselves here. That our spirituality has its place in this world as well. It is not dark magic. It is not meant to hurt anyone. Anybody that comes to powerful knowledge can use it for good or use it for bad. Even the Bible, there are passages in the Bible that I know that can be used for negative. So all of that, you have to be careful with it as well. It's all about your intentions. If your intentions are good, the outcomes will be good. If your intentions are negative, the outcomes will be negative. So please, again, do not do anything with a negative intention. It's not good for you. It will not be good for your children, your grandchildren. There are things that can stay through generations and generations if you do bad now. Okay. And it could be like a curse. So be careful. Whatever you do, make sure that it is a blessing to yourself, to others around you. Okay. And not to scare you, but it is true. And I'm big on that. I don't believe in doing anything with ill intention. So anyways, so they will offer to Papa Legba what Papa Legba loves, tobacco, rum, and stuff like that. Now, you have to, I forgot the 4 elements. I mentioned that in my last video. The 4 elements here in those rituals are always important. They rely on those 4 elements: air, your voice, fire, lighting a candle, water. They always pour water, okay, for especially for the unseen, for the unseen world. And did I mention everything? And earth, of course. Usually they stand bare feet so that they can be grounded. Same thing in chakra. The red chakra, which is the root chakra, usually is about grounding yourself. And they often talk about walking bare feet in order to ground yourself to the earth, to be grounded, to understand that you are here on earth. You can feel the vibration of the earth. So this exists in voodoo, except that it's not been explain in such a way. Okay. I don't know if there are other people that are talking about the similarities between quantum physics and metaphysics and voodoo, but I hope more people will come, and people that are much more knowledgeable on the matters would come out and talk about them, because it is time that we clear those negative perceptions. Okay. I'm going back to my notes here. So I talked about candles. The offerings would be like cigars, tobacco, rum, drinks, etc., and food and stuff like that. And then one important thing is the veve symbols. The veve symbols are these symbols, they're sacred symbols representing specific loa, and they have specific prayers and chants in order to call in those those spirits. Okay, and I was talking about Papa Legba, so it would be Papa Legba would have its own sacred veve. A veve is a sacred symbol that they use. They use powder, like white powder or sand, in order to trace them onto the floor and stuff like that. And veves could be beautiful symbols, by the way. Again, for an outsider, it looks scary. I have no reason to be afraid of what I'm from. Okay. I am from that. I am Black, and it's African spirituality. I'm not going to be afraid of it. Okay. And I'm done. I'm done being afraid of it. I'm done being uncomfortable talking about it. And I want to know, I want to understand. I'm not attached to anything whatsoever. I'm not attached to any religion. I'm not attached to any spirituality either. But as a human being, as a Black woman, I just want to know, and I'm educating myself. And if you're Black, it should go, the same should go for you. So, okay, ancestral offering, of course, it is to honor the ancestors and request their blessings for protection, guidance, and healing. So in voodoo, it is critical to not only have a relationship with the spirits, the unseen forces, but it's also very critical to have a relationship with your ancestors, because they were here, they know you, they love you, they have certain wishes for you. So when they travel to the invisible realm, they continue to obviously have the same, I don't want to say feelings, but for lack of a better word, I'll say feeling. They continue to have the same feelings for you. They continue to love you and stuff like that. So you can request or petition to ask them to give you healing, protection, and guidance. Okay. And then, of course, you set up an altar and bring and put their favorite food, whatever they liked, their pictures, and light a candle, put water. And a big thing in Haiti and Vodou is coffee. So they often would put black coffee, it's sweetened coffee and unsweetened coffee usually, and then water, and of course alcohol, rum mostly. So that's one way that they do offerings to ancestors, and the reason why they do it obviously is to ask for guidance and protection and help them manifest their desires and stuff like that. So now we have, so that's with the ancestors. As you can see, there's a bit of a parallel here between the spirit of, let's per se, Papa Legba and then an ancestor. And this is in its pure definition, this is what the loas actually are as well. They are actually ancestors that become loas. They become spirits, okay? Again, if you look into Catholicism, you have saints, okay? They were often, just mere mortals, okay? Like human beings who became saints, and then you can call onto them for certain requests, for guidance, for protection, and stuff like that. In voodoo, it is the same thing. There's no difference. This is the reason why at some point during slavery, they got mixed up. Catholicism and voodoo got mixed up because they were trying to hide from their masters their practices, and also because they didn't want to give the secrets, right? So they would switch or they would use an image of a saint to replace that spirit that they were praying to. So that's why you will see like a spirit like a deity like Erzili Freda or Erzili Danta would be like the image of like the Virgin Mary. It's crazy. It's like a white woman, and I'm always like, why would anybody want to, you know, in voodoo would want to pray or give offering to this white looking woman? But it was their way of hiding the true knowledge from their master. So they would swap, they would use those pictures in order to say that, okay, this is the spirit or the deity that represents love, Ezeli Frida, for instance. So they'll do rituals for love using Erzili Frida, and then the picture would be the picture of like literally Virgin Mary. And the Erzli Dantor would be the black one, the dark skin or Mary, Virgin Mary and stuff like that, or the Madonna, if you want to say that. So anyways, like I said, I'm not very well versed on the subject, but I've done my best here. I did some research in order to share with you, and so that will help encourage you to go look further inside of the world of voodoo. So of course, they do rituals to Erzeli Freda for love. So of course to attract love, for romance and beauty. It is in African spirituality known as, I'm sorry, I forgot and probably put the name here below. You have Oshun. Oshun is the deity for beauty, for love, for romance, and it was seen and understood by a lot of people that Beyonce used the spirit of Oshun. Okay, she was embodying the spirit of Oshun, because obviously Beyonce is seen as not only a star, but she carries a certain energy, an object of desire. So she has, in a way, understood that as a black woman, she will embody what Oshun represents, okay, in African and spirituality. And as an Orisha, it's called an Orisha, so she embodied Oshun. So Oshun wears gold. She's very sensual. She's very romantic. She's a seductress. So once you embody that, and this is the energy that reflects. So Erzili Freda would have the same characteristics. Okay, so people in the voodoo traditions would do rituals with Erzili Freda in order to manifest love, romance, beauty, and of course, to be seductive and stuff like that. And it's just sometimes it's a natural thing, but sometimes, you have to really go and embody that. And in the world of metaphysics, they will tell you, for instance, whatever you wish to be, you have to embody those characteristics. They will tell you want to manifest being a wealthy woman, well, start behaving like a wealthy woman. If you want to manifest a house, start thinking like a homeowner. If you want to manifest a husband, start thinking that you're a married woman. Or if you want to manifest a wife, start thinking and acting like a husband. So again, guys, what is the difference here? There's not much of a difference. It's just the embodiment of the characteristics of those spirits. One thing to be wealthy is adopting the spirit of wealth. One thing to be seductive is to embody and adopt the characteristic of the spirit of being seductive. It's the same thing, okay? The visible world versus the invisible world, okay? As within, so without. Okay, so how do you petition Erzili Freda? I have to look at my notes because, again, I'm not a practitioner. I'm also learning here. So how do you petition Erzili Freda? And you have to prepare a space with her favorite offerings. It's the same thing with Papa Lekpa. Of course, you have to prepare the space with her favorite offerings, such as pink. She loves pink. You see the difference between the Orisha Oshun, who loves gold. You saw Beyonce wearing yellow or gold. And I think as of recently, I saw on Instagram that the singer, what's her name? Summer Walker. And she had done an offering to Oshun. And people were like, oh, you're a witchcraft. You do witchcraft. You're a witch and stuff like that. Come on, people, relax. Get to know your roots. Get to know who you really are and what your ancestors did. Okay? Before you start judging another person here. Relax. So anyways, and Oshun loves gold and so on, but Erzili Freda loves pink and white flowers, perfumes and sweets. This is how the voodoo practitioners would prepare a space for her. They would have her offerings laid out. And of course, they would have a heart-shaped veve, which is the sacred symbol that I talked about. I'll try to link it here as well so that you can understand. And then it would be obviously drawn on the floor. Okay, so the practitioner lights pink or white candles and calls on Urzili to bring love, beauty, or emotional fulfillment. Music and dance are often part of this ritual, celebrating Urzili Freda's joyful and luxurious energy. She's an energy of money as well. A lot of people would petition Urzili Freda for money. Yeah, she's definitely the spirit of money as well. So we have Ogun. Ogun is also known in African Orishas as the god of war. If we go into Western civilization, the god of war, I believe, is, guys, please correct me if I'm wrong. And then in astrology, the Aries sign is the sign of war, I think. So you petition Ogun for protection, for strength, for courage. Is a warrior loa, or a warrior god or spirit. Okay, so when you petition Ogun, you petitioning him, and so that you can embody the same characteristics that Ogun has, right? It is known that during the Haitian Revolution, the generals often petitioned or did offerings for Ogun because obviously he's known as the Loa of a warrior Loa. So once they were gathering themselves to start a revolution against slavery, they were doing a lot of rituals and a lot of offerings to the Loa of Ogun. It is known that he's definitely, the colors that represent Ogun are like army colors, such as this color here. It's a pure coincidence that I'm wearing this color. But anyways, so an example I'm going to look at my notes again. An example would be in a protection ritual, Ogun is also known as the spirit of iron. War and technology he's called upon for his strength and protective energy. The practitioner might create an offering of rum, iron objects, guns, swords, and stuff like that, red cloth, and light a red candle while chanting or playing drums to summon his presence. Ogun is asked for protection against enemies, strength to face challenges, or victory in specific endeavors. Tools used would be iron objects, of course, such as knives, guns, tools, rum, red candles, drums, and the veve symbol for Ogun. And wearing such a color, which is an army color as well, on the day of Ogun is also something that practitioners do. Again, it's pure coincidence that I'm wearing this color. I love this color anyways. It has nothing to do with that. So we have healing rituals with Dambala. Dambala is another spirit that they call upon for healing and purification and spiritual ailments, physical spiritual ailments. Okay, I'm not gonna go into the example, but I will tell you that the tools that they use would be white candles, eggs, milk, white cloth, veve symbols. Of course, you always have to have the veve symbol because this is how the spirit. This is how you connect. According to the practitioners, this is how you truly connect with the unseen world. Okay, it's through the veve symbol. And of course prayers and chants. And then of course, yes. So the Dambala is actually represented by the serpent. Okay, I'll put pictures as I can find them here. And then you have for money and prosperity, you have rituals with one called Aiza. Of course, it's to bring prosperity, financial success, and opportunities. And you call on Aiza for such things as commerce and wealth and the law of markets, law of trades and markets and stuff like that. So what do you use? You use coins, green candles, honey, grains, again, the veve symbols and prayers for abundance. Okay. So I think that these would be like the main ones, although they do have some other ones. It would have to be another video. But one thing that I have to mention is that, spiritual cleansing rituals are very big in voodoo rituals, and spiritual cleansing are also very big in other cultures. I've seen that in Asian cultures, they really believe in doing spiritual cleanses. And in It's not just in voodoo. So why do they do spiritual cleanses? Is to remove negative energy or spiritual blockages that might be preventing the manifestation of the desired outcomes. It is important because, guys, I think that, having a clean energy, a clean aura, you move much easier in life. And I've seen the differences. And oftentimes, those blockages, they come from traumas. They come from bad experiences in your childhood. They come from sometimes, your own parents or guardians and stuff like that create these blockages in your energy system, and they linger. They would end up being like, becoming depression, anxiety, and so all kinds of like things, right? And we have to pay attention to our energies. We have to pay attention to how we move around the world, how somebody makes you feel. What kind of energy do you get from this person? These are things you have to pay attention to because you have to protect yourself in every way possible. Okay. You can say that, yeah, the shield of God is on me. Obviously, if you believe that, it becomes true. But one thing you cannot deny is that when you come in close contact with other people that are not good, and I'm not saying that because I feel like, like people that are spiritual are above other people. By no means I'm saying that. I mean that people that have bad intentions, because again, it's all about intentions, and they can project their negative thoughts onto you and it stays on you for some reason. So you have to learn to cleanse your energy field. And how do you do that, right? Metaphysics, they talk about meditation. You do that through meditation. You learn to connect with your body, with your different energy points, your chakra. You have to learn to cleanse those energy fields because a lot of things come through them and then they can stay. So you have to unblock them. That is in the world of metaphysics, or the metaphysical world, right? Approach to spirituality. But in voodoo, there is such a thing where you do energy cleansing. Practitioners can prepare a bath for you with different herbs. So what else? Obviously they would use water directly from a river because they believe that it has flowing water in its nature has more power because it comes from the earth. So they believe in that. They will use river water mixed with the herbs and they will give you a bath. And obviously it's all about the intention and the belief and stuff like that to help cleanse your energy. So it purifies obviously the body and spirits, removing obstacles that can block your spiritual progress. Okay, so in addition to bathing, they might also do smudging at home. Indigenous people here in America, they believe in smudging with using sage. Haitians, voodoo practitioners, they actually cleanse their house to remove bad spirits by using herbs as well to clean their floors and stuff like that. You hear in other traditions, in other regions of the world, people would put salt, cinnamon, and stuff like that to cleanse their home and bring positive energy. I think this is going to be it for today. And if you'd like to learn more, please let me know. I invite you to subscribe to my channel. I want to talk about business as well. And I want to talk more about my experience in Haiti as well, of how I did business over there. Again, like I said, because I am trying to put together a coaching program on becoming resilient and to know that wherever you are, and mindset is like wherever you are, you can make it. But you have to have the belief, you have to have the discipline, and you have to have the right information in order to do so. So, all right, guys, now this is it. I'm going to leave you with that. Please subscribe, please like, share this video if you will. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and blessed to be.